Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. Today we are going to be ranking the top 10 point guards in NBA 2K21 My Team right now. And just as with every other ranking video that I have uploaded to this channel, basically ever, this video is entirely opinion. These are my opinions only, and there is a very good chance that you will disagree with parts of my opinion. And as more and more cards get released and more cards get closer together, because there's only so good that cards can be, these lists will become more and more controversial because there will be more and more amazing cards who deserve to have a spot on this list. But this is my opinion as to who the top 10 point guards are in order right now. So before we hop into it, if you haven't, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me get to that 1,400 subscriber mark on the channel. We're about, I think, 15 to 17 subscribers away from it right now. I would really appreciate your support if you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's free and you can unsubscribe at any time if you change your mind. Without further ado, let's hop right into it and rank these point guards. So at the number 10 point guard position, I think this is automatically going to annoy some people, but I put Steph Curry at number 10. I don't think he really deserves a spot much higher than number 10 for a couple different reasons, and I'll get into those right here. But Steph has a couple different problems. He's 6'3" with a 6'3" wingspan. This is your first big problem. 6'3" wingspan, he has short arms. 6'3" height, he's short in general. That's an issue. Everything else about the card, I really don't know if there are very many issues, if any. Hot zones everywhere, 47 Hall of Fame badges, including every major Hall of Fame badge you could literally want. Don't really even need to talk about them. Every shooting badge in the game on Hall of Fame except for steady shooter as well, which is perfect to encourage it. 99 shot three, 98 driving dunk, 98 speed steal ball and acceleration. Every stat's basically 95 plus, close to 99, a lot of the amazing ones. He's got Steph Curry releasing very quick, which is one of the smoother, better, easier to green releases in the game. Pro 2 between the legs, Pro 2 Curry slide. There's not a ton to dislike about this Steph Curry card on current gen, except for the fact that he's short and he has a short wingspan, which limits his potential a lot. He also does not have nearly as good defensive animations as the one other quote-unquote short point guard that I have on this list, a couple spots ahead of him. He just doesn't have the defensive animations to compete at an elite level on the defensive end, and it makes him very, very hard to run, I think, in a competitive setting. But he is so good as a card, stats, and badges wise that I still think he deserves his spot on this list. At the number 9 position, we have a pretty old card in Magic Johnson. This card did come out a while ago, but he is still a very, very solid card for a couple of reasons. He is missing some badges, although that being said, you can find yourself a Magic with Hall of Fame Showtime, Hall of Fame Clamps, Hall of Fame Range, badges like that. I'm sure you can find a Magic with those simply because they've made all those badges very easily attained through the token market recently. But that being said, Magic is also 6'9", 7 foot wingspan, 32 Hall of Fames, hot zones everywhere except for the corners, which is okay for a point guard. Every other Hall of Fame badge you could really want besides Showtime, Range, and Clamps, you would love to see those on Hall of Fame, but with his size, it makes up for that, and you can always find them with those Hall of Fame badges on the auction house as well. 89 shot 3 is good enough. 895 speed, he moves really, really good simply because of how tall he is. Yes, Magic can't sprint, but there are a couple of the guys on this list who can't sprint either. I don't think that's a huge deal when you're using the burst to move. And 90 plus defensive stats and almost everything that matters as well. He's a very, very, very good all-around card. His release is mediocre, but with his dribble sigs being what they are, really, really nice dribble sigs, plus his size, his player model, his ability to move on the offensive end of the court, and his ability to compete based on player model on the defensive end, I still think he deserves his spot at the number 9 spot on this list. At the number 8 spot on this list, we have Chris Webber, who's another tall point guard who's slightly more recent than Magic Johnson. And Chris Webber's a good card. Don't get it wrong. He's a good card. He's not super expensive. I like Chris Webber a lot. I just think he, again, has a couple of issues that you really don't like to see on a point guard card. First of all, he's got really good size. That's not a problem. But he is missing 2 wing hotspots, which you would really like to see him have those hotspots considering he's a point guard. He's going to shoot from those wings a lot. He also comes with Hall of Fame Showtime, which is good. But unfortunately, he comes with Gold Steady Shooter. If you have steady shooter on a card on current gen, you want it on Hall of Fame. This gold steady shooter makes him shoot a lot more fulls and miss a lot more whites on current gen, which is annoying. Also, no Hall of Fame range. No Hall of Fame handles for days for point guard is a little bit of a limitation as well, and only gold clamps as well. Again, he's another one of those cards who is limited in terms of his badges. Really, really great offensive stats. Moves very well for a point guard with his speed and his player build. Solid on the defensive end. He's not great on the perimeter, but he can compete. Jumper's good. I have no issues with his jumper, but his dribble sigs aren't good. He can't Curry slide. He doesn't have the Curry slide size up. His full court dribble sigs aren't good. So he's very limited in terms of dribble sigs, and his badges do have some holes, but I still think he comes with enough good badges, a really good jump shot, and enough size that he does deserve his spot in the number 8 position on this list. At the number 7 position, we have that other short point guard that I mentioned earlier in Gary Payton. And the thing about Gary Payton specifically is he is so good at what he does, which is everything except for be tall, basically. Similar to Steph Curry, but the thing that sets him apart and makes him higher than Steph Curry, in my opinion, is a couple things. First, he's 6'4" with a 6'7" wingspan, so he's got a much bigger player model. He also has far better defensive animations. Gary Payton has some of the best defensive animations in the game, which really helps him compete against taller players on the defensive end. He also comes with basically every Hall of Fame edge you could want: Showtime, range, hot 100, handles for days, quick first step, dimer, bailout, etc. Clamps, interceptor, intimidator, yada. Really good all-around stats as well. Basically close to a GOAT card, similar to Steph. And his jumper is super good. There's like no issues with his jumper at all. He comes with the Curry slide and Pro 2 between the legs, just like Steph Curry. So he's a very similar card to Steph Curry. I feel like he just has better defensive animations and much better size. I feel like his player model is a lot bigger than Steph's, and that really helps set him apart, I think, from Steph and give him a couple extra spots in this list. And he deserves his spot at number 7 on this list. At the number 6 position, we have Luka Doncic, my favorite player in the NBA. In my opinion, a top 5, honestly top 2 point guard in the league right now. And he's a stud in 2K. His card's still really good. His dark matter has potential to be, I think, a top 2 point guard in the game, even in game. Like, his dark matter point guard is going to be amazing. But this opal still does have some limitations. He's 6'7" with a 6'8" wingspan, which is solid. I do wish his wingspan was a little bit longer, but his player model's good. He's got good height, which definitely helps him on the defensive end of the court. But on offense, there's not a ton to wish for this card. Hall of Fame Showtime, Hall of Fame Range, Hall of Fame Flexible, Hall of Fame Deadeye. He's a really good card. But he is definitely very limited on the defensive end of the court specifically. Missing Hall of Fame Clamps, Hard Crusher, Pickpocket, Rebound Chaser, Interceptor. He doesn't even come with that. You can add it on gold, obviously, but he doesn't come with it on Hall of Fame. He does have Hall of Fame Intimidator and Pogo Stick, which is good. But on the defensive end, he's just limited. He's missing high steal rating, kind of a low perimeter and lateral quickness as well. Not super low, but with his player build, you would like to see it a little bit higher. Offensively, he's amazing. He's still a top couple offensive point guard in the game. He has Dante excellent release on quick. When he gets that on very quick, it's going to be ridiculously cheap, but even on quick, it's good. He can Curry slide to 6'7". He's got a good behind the back. Between the legs isn't good, but I don't think that matters too much. He's a very good card, just very lackluster for this point of the year on the defensive end of the court, and I think that holds him back just a little bit from being any higher than 6, but his offensive prowess does make up for it and puts him in that 6th spot in this list right now. Now at the number 5 position, we kind of, I feel like, hit that next tier of point guards, the second tier of point guards, where you have basically these next 4 guys. But Kobe Bryant is the first guy in that list. He's got 41 Hall of Fame badges. He's 6'6", 6'11" wingspan. Really solid player build. Not huge, but a decent player build. Decent arms as well. Hall of Fame Showtime, Hall of Fame Range, Hall of Fame Green Machine, Flexible Release, Dimer, Ankle Breaker, Handles for Days, Quick First Step, Unpluckable, Clamps, Hard Crusher, Interceptor, Intimidator, Pick Dodge, Pickpocket, Pogo Stick, etc. He comes with every Hall of Fame badge you could want. High perimeter, lateral quickness, and steal. Really good dunking, shooting, great athleticism. Really good card statistically and badges wise. He's not missing much. Kobe Bryant released on quick. You do wish it was on very quick, because Kobe release on quick is just a tiny bit slow, I feel like, at this point. But he's got great dribble stakes, phenomenal behind the back, and it comes with the Curry slide. Really good card. Kobe is a great card. I just feel like he doesn't play quite as good as his stats would say, and I wish his jumper was quicker. That does limit him, I think. As well as the fact that his player model and his height is just not quite as big as most of the guys. Well, really all of the guys on ahead of him on this list. But he is a very good card. Definitely deserving of being a top 5 point guard in the game. At the number 4 position, we have Penny Hardaway, who you would think would not probably be better than Kobe based on the way the previous 2Ks have been. But this Penny Hardaway is a stud. They changed his jumper, and he is a monster. I recommended him in my best team for 500K video yesterday, and I totally stand by that. I mean, him and the third point guard in this game, I totally stand by them deserving their spots on that team. He's 6'7" with 6'10" wingspan, hotsons everywhere except from the corners, which is fine for a point guard. Hall of Fame Showtime, Range, Handles for Days, Quick First Step, Stop and Go, Unpluckable, Dimer, Clamps, Hard Crusher, Intimidator, Pickpocket, etc. Solid defensive stats. At 6'7", he competes well down the defensive end. He's a lead on the offensive end. Comes with one of the better jumpers in the game. 75 on very quick is the same jumper as Brandon Ingram, Obi Toppin, Jaylen Brown, Emmanuel Mudiay, Pascal Siakam, etc. Comes with a Curry slide. Full court dribble sigs aren't great, but he's still a very good card on both ends of the court. Absolutely a stud. Good player build as well. Only like 80K. This card is a super good card. Definitely worth copying if you're looking for a point guard, and also deserving of his top 4 spot on this list. At the number 3 position, we have Mr. Lonzo Ball, the other point guard from yesterday's video. And Lonzo is he is so good. It was close between him and number 2 in that he's not really missing much. Hot zones everywhere, 6'6", 6'9", he's been 36 hops, including showtime, range, quick first step, handles for days, unpluckable, clamps, heart crusher, interceptor, intimidator, pickpocket, pogo stick, etc., etc. Again, 97s on the perimeter defense, lateral quickness, and steal, just like Kobe. 95 driving dunk, great athleticism, really good shooting, not missing much on the stats or badge size, really good jumper as well. Pro 2 size up, Pro 2 between the legs, Pro 6 behind the back, so really good dribble 6. This card really isn't missing much. I just think he is, what separates him and the top 2 point guards in the game is just the fact that he's not quite as good on the defensive end of the court. He's smaller than them, but this is a phenomenal card. For 100k, he is absolutely phenomenal. I 100% recommend running this card in your lineup if you don't have the 2 top point guards in the game, if you're missing one of these 2. So, at the number 2 position, I don't think it's much of a surprise. Grant Hill is the number 2 point guard in the game, in my opinion. He's been out for a bit now, and he's been the best. He was the best point guard in the game when he came out. Now is the second best point guard in the game, but he's pretty dang complete on both ends of the court. 6'8", 6'11", huge, really good player build. Hot zones everywhere. Hall of Fame showtime. Hall of Fame range. Hall of Fame ankle breaker, dimer, quick first step, and unpluckable, clamps, heart crusher, interceptor, intimidator, pickpocket, pick dodger, pogo stick, etc., etc. 95 plus on basically every defensive stat in the perimeter, as well as good interior and block as well. 98 driving dunk, great athleticism with his player build, and the way he moves with 98 speed is just ridiculous. 94 shot 3 as well. A solid jumper. Jump shot 1 is not great, but on very quick, it's very greenable. Very pretty smooth jumper as well. It's not a bad jumper anymore, like his jumper on his previous card kind of was. Pro 2 comes with a curry slide. He can curry because he's under 6'9". Pro 2 between the legs. Pro 3 behind the back. Best dribble 6 in the game. Grant Hill is a phenomenal card. I think he is so good. If you can't afford the top point guard in the game, go get this Grant Hill. He will compete against the number one point guard in this game. And coming in at the number 1 point guard position in the game, too, I would say absolutely no one's surprised, is Mr. Ben Simmons. No hype there, honestly, in that we knew that Ben Simmons was the best point guard in the game from the time that this video started. He's 6'10", 7 foot wingspan. He's the biggest point guard on this list. He has the best dunk animations, I am convinced, of any card in the game. He gets so many posters, so many contact dunks, and so many unblockable dunk animations. He is just so good as a slasher. Also now has the ability to shoot from anywhere with every Hall of Fame shooting badge in the game. Comes with every Hall of Fame playmaking and defensive badge as well that you could want on a guard. 97s on all the perimeter defensive stats. Really good athleticism as well. 95 driving dunk, 94 shot 3. He's basically a GOAT card. Ben Simmons' jumper is super good for some reason. They made his jumper amazing. He has an elite jump shot. One of the better jumpers in the game. Pro 2 between the legs, Pro 8 between the legs. Pro 2 size up. He cannot curry slide, unfortunately, because of his height, but it doesn't really take that much away from him. He is so good as a slasher, so good on the defensive end, and so good as a shooter that it really doesn't matter that much that he can't curry slide. This card is super elite. Ben Simmons is the best point guard in the game by a decent amount, in my opinion. I think he might be the best card in the game, not just the best point guard in the game. I would take Ben Simmons as the best card in the game right now. He is so elite at that point guard position. But that is going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy, please make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, let me know what you thought of the video and what you thought of my list, what you disagree with, what you agree with, because I'm sure there are some things that you do disagree with my list. And also, if you haven't, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to hit that 1,400 subscriber mark in the near future, and I really appreciate any and all support. But we will be back with more NBA 2K21 content very soon. Appreciate y'all. Peace.